Okay, so I was going to share with you all what I first started experiencing when I came down with Morgellons disease. And this is what, the majority of everyone that has this disease starts out with. So, for instance, we'll start with this one. This was back in March of 2019. It's March 29th it was taken. And I'm going to have you just kind of watch for a second, see what you see. This thing is going to start moving here shortly on its own. As you saw that, it just did. It's still moving. The creepiest thing ever, and this portion of debris came from, I'm going to guess, probably from my arm area at that day and age, at that time. But as you can see, it's clearly moving on its own. These things are alive and living, and they mimic things. They can look like tree bark, they can look like sticks, branches, plant life, bugs. And when I say it, they mimic things, the reason I know this is because I've watched them change like right in front of my face, literally. Like just change shapes and blend in with the environment. But I mean, you can clearly see that this in particular one is moving on its own. And again, I believe this one probably came from my arm area at the time. So I'm going to kind of stop this, pause it, and I'm going to go kind of fast forward it here a little bit. So I'm going to get you right here. Now watch this thing just move. Okay, I'm going to pause it again. I'm going to go back. I'm going to zoom in really close so that you can see that there is some crazy movement on this. Did you see that thing that pops out from underneath right there? So whatever that white thing is, like right in this area, kind of flips it over too. So it's all a portion of it. But as you can see, I'm going to pause it again. These fibers you can always find attached to these organisms, to whatever they are, whether they're alien to me, so yeah, I would call them alien. But I mean, some people think they're from the GMOs, the genetically modified organisms that they put in all of our food. Everything that we consume and eat these days has the GMOs, unless you purchase non-GMO food. You're going to get this. But even our non-GMO food, in my opinion, at this point in life, is contaminated. Because how are they going to grow non-GMO food if even our grounds are contaminated with this stuff that is seemingly everywhere and all over, in the trees, on the ground, in the sky? I believe these things also are what mimic UFOs. They can be as small as this little piece of debris here and smaller, and they can be as large as a football field, and that's no joke. So keep that in mind, that it can be all of these things. I've seen it with my own eyes, and sometimes they link together, which a lot of people, some call them morgue buses, because they just think that there are a ton of little tiny guys that link together. And I'm going to concur that. I have seen that myself, that there's, a group of them that will link together, but others are not necessarily so. We are living in some crazy times, my friends. And this is as real as it gets. And this is just one of my examples. Keep in mind, doctors will not listen to this. They will not at all acknowledge this. They send you away the second you walk in without even looking. Now that right there, the fact that they don't even look, all they have to hear out of your mouth is, there are things coming from my body and out of my body that are moving. And the second you say that, they immediately vacate the room for a moment, and then they will go elsewhere and then come back shortly, and they have, a referral to a psychiatrist. They call it delusional parasitosis. I'm sorry, guys. Does this look delusional to any of you? And the fact that they won't even look, we can bring in specimens. I'm not even joking. Baggies filled with specimens. Almost all of us do try that. And they refuse to look. They say, get that out of my office, leave now. And they try to usher you out as quickly as possible without looking and just referring you to psychiatric treatment. Much like the UFO cover-up, right? Much like they do to people who see UFOs and they're like, no, we're not having any of this. It was just this, or like the space balloon. That's what it was, a space balloon, when the aircraft crashed in New Mexico. We know better than that. They are covering up something. This is a no-brainer. And when I tell you guys these things that I'm seeing, now check this out. It's just bizarre. But these things that I'm seeing, it's just like, it's not natural. It's not normal. So whether it comes from GMOs or whether it comes from aliens, the fact of the matter is it shouldn't be happening. And those of us that have this should not be experiencing the kind of treatment that we are. We can get no help, no medical assistance whatsoever. And I mean none. So just keep that in mind. Absolutely none. Okay, so I'm going to swipe over here. I'm going to show you just a few of these that I've got. And this is just a small, portion of videos that I have. I've got many like this, but I mean, this guy just, he was relentlessly not giving it up at all. He was determined to live, and he did eventually die because a lot of these things that come from the body seemingly cannot live without the host. But I'm telling you right now, if you look around on the ground, take a close-up of the ground, you will see that these things are living all over and everywhere, in the trees, on the ground. And as you can see, the static here in this video, there's so much static because that is just so much energy being emitted from these things. And the transformation in them that they alone display is just unbelievable. And it's not of this world, in my opinion. But even if it is, the nanotechnology, I understand nanotechnology means nano-sized particles that are coming together to, create or complete a task of some sort or another. So this is a possibility, but where's this debris coming from? Where is the actual physical matter of it coming from? So there's so many questions left unanswered, and this is just from us Morgellons victims, and I call it victims, and I don't even know that this is actually Morgellons because somebody just came up with that word. I mean, this is all part of the UFO targeted individual Morgellons phenomenon. It is. It all interlinks, and that and some. Let's put it like that. The men in black, those who see those or experience those, all of the things that we see, like the Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever we are seeing, this all links together. And I haven't quite figured the entirety of it out. But I mean, regular people like us that are victims have done the research ourselves. Regular individuals like us have had our samples sent in to independent labs, because of the Monsanto thing. Okay, so keep that in mind too. And we all have this positive testing, almost all of us, for Lyme's disease, which, by the way, anyone that thinks that Lyme disease is a thing from ticks, it is not just from ticks, it's from many things. Ticks just got dubbed the culprit on it, okay? It's not a bite from this or that. That's not how it's contracted. It could be, but it's contracted many ways. It is in our air that we breathe. It is in the water that we drink. It is in the food that we eat. It is everywhere and always. And we need to put a stop to this because this is killing people. This is killing people daily. That depopulation thing. I mean, I firmly believe they are well on their way to doing so. Okay, so I'm going to go on. I'm going to show you some more here. And I'm trying not to go too fast, and things come to my mind, and probably after I shut this video off, I'm going to be like, crap, I should have said this or that, or I forgot to mention this. And if I do so, I'm going to apologize, but I will bring it up in a later video if I forget to tell you something. But watch how this thing right here just transforms. It does weird things. I'm not even sure what it was. Don't even know where that one actually came from. Can't remember. I want to say I got it off of the faucet outside. But look at this. So here's your regular cluster of fibers. And then we have this. There's your one fiber that seemingly can bring life into almost any bit of matter. Because the fibers themselves are life. I have watched these things lunge through the air and penetrate my dogs, myself. I mean, just penetrate whatever they want to. An apple, they lunge, they literally self-propel themselves and lunge into whatever they're wanting to do so at. So watch closely. This is just yet another example of a cluster of fiber organisms, Morgellons, whatever you want to call them. Again, I'm on the edge here of thinking that, I don't think that this is Morgellons. I think that this is an interlinking phenomenon that is happening worldwide and creating all of the ultimate phenomenons that we are seeing, because they can transform themselves and interlink and bus up, as some would say, into whatever they want to be. But some of them just actually are already that big. But I mean, I've seen these things watching from the ISS. They are that far in our atmosphere. They are all over, not just our globe and our atmosphere and the environment. They are literally space bound and beyond. They are everywhere. And this is no joke, guys. This is no joke. Okay, so I'm going to turn this here. We're going to look at this one now. This one here also was one that I believe this one did come from my neck area, if I remember this one correctly. Just moving around freely on its own will. Now, if you stick your finger out or you go to touch these things, and I think I posted another video where you could see they interact. They interact with other organisms and other people and other things. They will either try to get to know you, so to speak, almost like a dog would get to know its, prey. But these things will literally interact with you. It's like there is an AI, an intelligence. Maybe it's not even an artificial intelligence. They have an intelligence to them. I'm telling you. I've watched these fibers bundle up real tightly into a cluster of like a round ball, but fibrous, and you can still kind of see through it, and literally roll off, then grow fiber legs and run up the wall, around the corner, and down behind a heater vent. And again, I couldn't make this up if I tried. Like, what a stupid thing to make up. Like, who comes up with something like that? Some of you might be like, yeah, crazy person. Okay, but if so, if you want to call us crazy, like everyone says, why in the hell are there over 1 million plus of us saying the same thing all over the globe, including Australia, including China, including flipping Saudi Arabia, the U.S.? We do not know one another. We don't know one another. We never saw each other's stuff. The way we started looking and finding out about each other is because we started looking for answers as to why the hell this is happening to us when we know it's real, and we know it's so real, and we know that we can't get any help, so we start looking for ourselves. And let me tell you, my friends, again, we don't know one another, all telling the same stories, all showing the same things, all preaching the same thing about the treatment that we get from physicians. And many of us have been hauled away from our own families, our own homes, our own children, taken away and held captive in a psychiatric evaluation institution for like days, drugged up, not even knowing where we were or that we were even there. And then by the time it's time to go home, all we know is that we're not where we used to be. And you tell me what kind of evaluation that is if they got you drugged up so much that you can't see straight, you can't think straight, you probably shit your pants, who knows what you did. And I'm sorry, guys, but that is not help. That is not a psychological evaluation. That is cruelty. That is inhumane. And what is being done to us is wrong. And I'm going to say it again. What is being done to us is flipping wrong. Look at this. See with your eyes. Look, watch closely. And here's just another example. Let me swipe. Okay, here we go again. Got this little guy here. He came out of my forehead area. Now, my forehead area is the gift that keeps on giving, let me tell you. So if you've seen in some of my videos, I've always got a nodule in between my eyes, right where the third eye would be, right? How ironic is that? But check this little dude out. And some of you are like, oh, she got a string attached to it, just like they said with the little spider guy I had on there. And I'm thinking, you idiot, who's going to train a piece of debris with a string? And how is anyone going to tie a string around something so small? But I don't really even care what they say. Everyone's looking for logic. Hell, I look for logic. We're all looking for logic. I want the logic, but guess what, guys? There is no logic. See, there's no logic. Does this look like logic to you? There is no logic, guys. There's no logic in this. This right here is a bunch of nonsense. Bunch of nonsense with no logic involved other than it is what it is, and nobody can tell me different. Nobody can tell me different. I didn't train this guy. I didn't be like, okay, we're going to go to like fiber obedience school. Nope, didn't happen. This, my friends, is freely moving on its own. You clearly see this. So for anyone to tell me different, or any of us different that have this, or for any of you to not be looking at this right now with your eyes and try to say different after seeing this, you're wrong and you will be damned to hell. And I'm just saying that. You will be damned to hell and you will have to answer the big guy upstairs. Oh, look, see here, I'm showing you my neck. My neck. That's where it came from, guys, my neck. Now, what year was this? Yeah, this was also May 31st of 2019. 2019 was also a hard year for me. This all started in about 2018 with the complete noticeable debris and stuff like this with the mind of its own. But I mean, yeah, this is what we're looking at. So just, I'm going to be quiet for a second and let you watch, okay? But this is like not okay. Seriously. You can see closely, I mean, they almost look like they have eggs, but the debris that it's on, like they look like they have eggs maybe inside of them. They're fiber optic, they change colors, but let me just pause this for a second. I'm going to go back just a little bit. Now watch this again. Watch how this thing gets so frustrated because it's slowly dying, by the way. It's most definitely slowly dying. But look at this fiber optic area here. I mean, that is like clearly fiber optics of some sort. Not ours. I don't think it's ours. I don't even understand how that would happen. There are other people there's several, well, there's thousands of Morgellons disease Facebook pages and support groups. And number two, that should be a huge clue right there. Like, why are there thousands of support group pages specifically made for Morgellons disease? It's because it's real, folks. It's real. The CDC denies it. I sat in the CDC all night long one night, exhausted, so sick. I was shaking. Everything on me hurt. Sat there in that diseased clinic with disease-filled people, probably much of them with the same thing I was crying about, until 23 hours later, I was seen. I was finally seen. But I mean, all to get upstairs, literally get in the doctor's waiting room and into the room I was going in, and for the doctor, which was, by the way, a very young and maybe in his 20s, and guys, I'm not knocking you if you're in your 20s, but I am going to say, you don't know everything. In fact, you've hardly lived yet, so you probably don't know much of anything. You might know something, but don't try to tell us different. So this, I guess it was an understudy doctor, comes in, and he said, what brings you here? I mean, obviously, I'm hysterical. I don't know what's going on. I'd already been to the regular hospital. They sent me away and told me it was delusional parasitosis. But I mean, I clearly saw this, and this doesn't look delusional to me, and I clearly saw it coming from my skin, and I know what I saw. And the sad thing was, every time I would try to get one of my family members to see or look, it would stop. It would stop. It would stop moving or wouldn't be there. But the other thing is, I don't give a crap if there's a Thanksgiving turkey or corn on the cob in my skin. I don't give a rat's crap ass what's in my skin and if it's moving or if it's not. If it's not supposed to be in my skin, that right there, my friends, is a pretty freaking good, big, solid clue. And I had like literally adult services come in, and the lady was like, all right, I'm writing you up. Adult services was called on me. Child services was called on me. All these things were called on me for nothing I did wrong other than be sick and be a victim of this bull crap. So the lady said, well, I don't see anything moving on you. And I was showing her a lesion. I'm like, no, I promise you, they move. And she's like, oh, I'm just not seeing it. I'm like, well, I can't, you're not in the circus. This isn't a circus and like, let me perform an act for you. And I got these things trained. I mean, holy shit already. I'm freaking out here. This shouldn't be happening. And you should have like enough freaking couth and love and just understanding for humankind when we're crying out and telling you this is real. And you're trying to take me away from my daughter or vice versa, my daughter away from me whenever I'm all she knows and I'm a fabulous, wonderful, fantastic mother. You're trying to do that to me and you want to see it move? Like you came here, do you have a ticket? Do you have a ticket to get into the show? No. So she looks at my family and she says, well, have you guys seen it move? And my dad especially, because that's my dad, like he's been the probably hardest and worst to me, says, oh, I hadn't seen anything move. And my mom, being that she's got the mentality of a 6-year-old since her little episode of stroke and came out with obviously some brain damage, she just sits there and says nothing. My daughter's in the same room too. She says nothing. And all I'm thinking is, what is going on? Which is the first indication to me that that's not a normal behavior from my family anyway, but for any human individual to be or act. When they know my character, they know I'm a good mommy, they know I'm a good daughter, they know I'm a good everything, and I work hard, and I'm dedicated, and I show up on time, and I'm just as normal as everyone else, if not more normal, and they just sit there. that tells me that their brains have already been taken over, because for a family to even let that happen is ridiculous. But when the lady asked him, my dad says, oh, she's out there. She's filming UFOs in the sky. She needs mental help. Go ahead and take her. Take her away. And by the way, I'll never forget that moment. That moment was needless, unnecessary, hurtful. It pained my heart more than you'll ever know. But I mean, here you go. Here's another example. There's the bug now moving too. The bug that came from me, that's got the fiber attached on it. The bug that's clearly alive, and the fiber that's clearly alive, guys. Okay, so my dad's like, nope, hadn't seen it moving. And the lady's like, that's all I need to know. Thank you. Leaves the house. Literally almost got held hostage in the home. They were blocking the driveway. I almost drove to Mexico that day just trying to flee the country. And I'm like, wait, I got a little girl still. I raised my other 3 older daughters, which also called, CPS on me because of what? Loving little things, knowing that I'm okay, but just never having enough faith or anything to believe in me enough, or the fibers got the brains. And I mean, if that's the case, my heart aches because I got to get them out. I've got to get their body cleansed. But I mean, who does that? You guys see this? You see it? You see this? Does this look normal? Is it normal? No, it's not. Nothing's normal about this. And whatever this bug thing is, look at it. Does it look like something you've seen? Or the fiber attached? Is this anything you all have seen? Is this normal? Just because I couldn't perform the circus act for CPS or the day that adult services came in and let my little 8-year-old daughter at the time know everything and all that a penis was and a vagina was, and 2 little dolls, just where does this go, where does that go, and has anyone ever done that to you? Her little innocent mind corrupted forever because her mommy got sick with something nobody believes in. How dare they? And guess what? They are going to pay. They are going to pay the price. I will not stop screaming or talking about this until I see justice done. I promise you. And if I don't see it with my own eyes here on earth, I'm going to stand by the pits of hell as I'm in heaven looking down, watching them burn. Okay, and that was not very Christian-like, but I'm not going to lie. I'm probably not going to be too sad to see the people that have done this to us, especially our doctors, the one that vowed to protect us and keep us safe and, make sure that we maintained good health and do everything in their own capabilities and possible to, save us, help us, nourish us. Those that took that vow do nothing but condemn us and send us away to where we can't even go to the bathroom on our own. We drool. We can't even dress on our own. We can't have a cup of tea on our own. We can't have a candy bar. We can't have a freaking granola bar. We can't have a piece of broccoli because we no longer have rights. Because when you're locked away, you don't have any rights anymore. You belong to the state. You are a ward of the state, and they tell you when you can and cannot do this or that, and they tell you when you can or cannot see your own child you gave birth to as a fabulous mother, a good Christian woman, and everything in life you're supposed to be. They tell you when you can do that. They tell you. Tell me. I want to hear this. Tell me, is this okay? Does this sound right? Does any of this look right? Does it look right? It's not right. Look, I've got so many videos and pictures and so much literally condemning evidence, as does hundreds and thousands and millions of us worldwide, not nationwide, my friends, worldwide. We have this evidence. Does this seem right to you? Because I'm telling you right now, something's wrong with this world. Bad, wrong. Something is so bad off. It's not even funny. And there's been people that's tried to say, oh, it's from doing drugs or this or that. Well, let me tell you, my friends, I don't do drugs. I do not do drugs. I don't really know anyone that does do drugs. But I also know that Morgellons first got its name from a young child at the age of 6 that went to a doctor. And they looked under a microscope at his lip that he had been complaining about and hurting with for quite some time, where they had first seen all of these fibers bundled up in his lip. I don't think that 6-year-old boy was doing drugs. Call me crazy, but I'm pretty sure he was not. And this poor mother was at her wit's end, and she studied all over the internet as long and hard as she could, trying to figure out what was going on. And she found, because she was a nurse herself, but she found this book from back in the 1800s that spoke of these fiber things, these fiber creatures living inside of people in the early 1800s, and they called them Morgellons, which is how it's got its name, from a 6-year-old child, okay? He wasn't doing drugs. None of us are doing drugs. And even if we have done drugs, this has nothing to do with it. So next time you guys want to choose to judge another person thinking that they're doing drugs, or even if they are, don't forget, your shit doesn't stink, okay? It stinks just the same. Now I'm going to show you a few more real quick. Okay, so I call this one idiots. Okay, I already posted this one, but this is my idiot clip. Like, idiots, if you can't see this, I don't know what's the matter with you. This was just December 4th of 2020. You can clearly see the colorful aspects to this, and they are bulges. They are round spheres inside the living organism's belly or body structure. It is there. It is plain to see. You cannot miss this. There is no delusional parasitosis to this. This is a factual, organic, living, breathing creature that emerged from my body. And you're welcome. Like I said, somebody's going to pay a price, I promise you, for what they put my child through, for what they put me through, and for taking away my right to just live, breathe, and speak freely? I don't think so. And for this little algorithm and who decides what I can and cannot convey, I don't think so. If I am conveying things that I have experienced myself with my own body, you're not going to take that right from me. You cannot take that away from me. It's my body, my life, my mouth, my voice, and my circumstance, and you can just go sit and you know what. Algorithm. Okay, I'm going to leave that at that. So you've all now clearly seen this obviously has structure to it, doesn't it? Yeah, it's kind of cool. No, it's not cool. It's creepy as hell. It doesn't look of this world. It shouldn't be here. But yet, there it is. Oh, she doctored the photo. I'm going to say this one more time for whatever dumbass ever says that to me again, that I doctored this or that, or got a little string attached. Somehow I tied this little knot around an organism and I'm just wiggling it in the background. Like, who could come up with something like that? Moron? Like moron? And I'll say it again, moron. Who could come up with something like that? And why? Like, why something so stupid? Like, I'm probably going to tie a string around, like maybe say if I want to be devious, like a bird and pull it along like it's still moving on its side. I'm pretty sure we're not going to come up with something so dumb. And even the bird thing was just freaking stupid. Like, that one's a no-brainer. But, I mean, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So I'm going to say this nicely. Shut the hell up. Any of you that got something to say like that, shut the hell up. Or give me your address and we'll have a talk. I mean, that's fine with me too, because I'm kind of that angry. No, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm just going to give you a big, big, close hug. And if you don't pull away, then I'll know that you really don't believe me. But it's kind of funny, right? Because that would probably work. But yeah, it's not real. It's just fake. I just took out a string and put some little Kim lights in it. Even though it's about the size of my freaking pinky, okay? So, again, shut up. So, showed you all this. You guys can clearly see that there's truth in that. Much truth in that. So, don't really want to hear much else. Oh, yeah, look at this guy living upstairs in the moon and see the little brown guy up there? I mean, either it's a huge Morgellons or the freaking world has changed. And there's your skeletal figure, whatever, with two eyes looking sideways at the moon, which has got black clouds behind it. Behind the moon, I might add. Yeah, behind it. Because that's possible for dark black clouds to go behind the moon. Oh, wait, no, it's not. It's not possible. So, again, there's something going on in the neighborhood, guys. And everybody's coming to see the party, but nobody's doing a damn thing about it. So I need y'all's voice, okay? I need your voices. I need you to help me share this stuff. I need you to help me get this spread worldwide. It is so important. It is life-threatening. All of this is life-threatening. Do you know how many people that have Morgellons disease have passed away? Thousands upon thousands have died because they can get no help. None. Thousands. I need you guys. I need your voices. I need your help. I need you to help me spread the word. Please share my channel. Please subscribe. Please like. And I'm not doing it for the monetary reasons, because if you look, you can clearly see I don't even partake of the monetary factor of this. Not even at all. Not even a little. I have no partake of that. Like, there's no portion of me that is seeing money coming into my hands at all. I just need your help. I just need you guys. I need you. That's all. And for my little girl's sake that you see on the screen with me, I just need you guys for that. For my baby, my other 3-year-older, but I need your help so that they too can either rid themselves of the beast, or so that they can have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. And that is all I ask. I love you guys very much. But this is really dire. This is not a joke. This is the most horrific, real thing that you will ever see or experience. And this should be the most important thing that any of us should ever have to partake of and be serious about being active and getting this acknowledged and getting to the bottom of it. Because you know what? We have a voice. We were born with that voice. That voice is ours. And I am sorry, but I am sick and tired of being put in the corner and told to shut up, wear a mask, be quiet, don't speak. No, I will die trying. And right now, living the life that I have, death is not even scary to me. I have no fear left in me. And you all shouldn't either, because remember, it takes an army, but we are the army. We are the army, okay? We cannot lose this fight, but it does take the army that we are. And I need my warriors that are here to please step up and just do the right thing.